So you're ready to quit smoking weed and you didn't hit this video by accident. You're here because you're tired of being stuck in the weed shame loop. Wanting to get high when you're not, then wishing you weren't when you are. And you want off this roller coaster ride. You probably tried to quit before, but it didn't take. I've been through it, and so have a lot of other people who made it to the other side. Some of what you're about to see came straight from questions and stories in the comments of these videos. You're going to get every lesson, every screw up, every trick I learned the hard way, battle tested over decades, both by myself and the people I've helped along the way. I built an app you can get in the description below to help you follow along. Start using it now while you watch so you'll have something to hold on to when things get tough. As you make your way through these videos, you're going to notice the lighting, the camera, or even my mood changes from clip to clip. That's because these were recorded over the past 6 months as questions came up from the community. If you want to quit for good, grab a seat and let me show you what actually works. I smoked weed every day for 25 years, thinking it made me who I was. Turns out, it was just like hitting a big giant pause button on my life. For years, I didn't even realize how much it was holding back my motivation, my creativity, and my relationships. I believed I couldn't be myself without it. I was stuck in this cycle, going back and forth between wanting to quit and convincing myself of its benefits. If you've ever felt like weed was holding you back, but didn't know how to stop, you're not alone. After many failed attempts, I finally found a way to break free. In this video, I'm going to share my story, the fears I faced, and the mindset shift that made all the difference. So, if you've ever thought about quitting, or you're just curious about what it's really like, buckle up, this could change your life. I started smoking weed in my teens. I wasn't chronic at first, it was just a way to relax and hang out with friends. It was an experience. We'd laugh, we did stupid things, it was fun. But all too quickly, it became a daily habit. I'd roll a big bat first thing in the morning and smoke it while I cooked my eggs. At the end of the day, I'd light one up thinking it would put me to sleep, but then I'd stay up till 2 a.m. surfing eBay, looking for shit I didn't need. I told myself it wasn't a problem. I'm a highly functional pot smoker, I'd say. I could drive, work, walk, clean the house. I could do everything while I was high. I could even go to the bank baked. Bank baked. Bank baked. I could go to the bank while I was stoned. But deep down, I knew I was beholden to it. I was controlled by something I felt powerless to escape from. And that's what really bothered me. I thought it helped make me who I was, which was a huge pile of bullshit. The truth was actually the opposite. Weed is the cause and solution to all of our problems. It seems like this magical plant. At first, there's a promise of peace and serenity, creativity and relaxation. It's a break from the chaos of your monkey mind, and you feel more laid back. An unplugging, if you will, from the reality of life, because reality is a bit shit, isn't it? But the reason weed feels so nice is the reason it's also a problem. It's true, you are a lot more laid back, and that means you don't get anything done. You think you do, but you don't. It makes you less motivated, and it's a lot easier to say, I'll do it tomorrow. The euphoric feeling of weed eventually becomes your baseline, and you can't function in everyday life without it. Then, just like any other addiction, the cold truth of reality starts to seep into your buzz, and it makes life that much harder. Deep down, we all know that weed isn't the problem. It's a symptom of a larger problem, and it's just become a coping mechanism. I'm going to come back to this point at the end of the video because it's important if you truly want to quit and make it stick long term. Weed can sometimes feel like a part of who you are. It's part of your social life, your music, even your style. When all your friends smoke, it's easy to convince yourself that it's all natural. It's non-habit forming. Or everyone's doing it. I can remember rolling a joint before every conversation, or before I did anything for that matter. When something becomes a part of your identity, letting go of it can feel like you're killing a part of yourself. It's kind of like going through a breakup with a girl you know just isn't good for you, but you're powerless to her beauty. Or, whatever kind of power she has over you. I used to call it my little green safety blanket, and I'd carry it around like Linus from Charlie Brown. It's totally normal to want to hold on to something that's such a big part of your life. One of your first steps to quitting will be recognizing that this part of your identity is bullshit. You're probably thinking, what if I become more irritable or harder to be around? What if I lose friends? What if I'm not as cool or creative without it? Those fears are normal. I had all of them, and most people do. None of it's true after you get past the first few days. Sort of. I'll come back to that. But first, let's get to what you really want to know. I'm going to give you, by far, the one piece of advice that is going to help you the most. This mindset is crucial. You ready? You can't just quit because you think you should. You have to stop because you want to. You can't just quit because you think you should. You have to stop because you want to. There has to be a burning desire to let that part of yourself go. If you don't really want to quit, you won't. You'll fall back into it again. And a lot of people fail because they really just don't want to quit. They romanticize the lifestyle and they just think they should quit. Okay, this next part is going to sound weird, but I'll explain why this will help you in a minute. Once you figured out that you really want to quit, I highly recommend that you make the whole process into a ritual or a ceremony. Don't click away just yet. It sounds weird, but hear me out. So what do I mean by this? Take all your paraphernalia, all the things you associate with the ritual of smoking pot, and say goodbye to them in a loving way. Gather everything up in one place and thank cannabis for all that it's done for you. Tell it how much you appreciate all the beautiful knowledge it's dropped on you and how it's helped you through all the hard times. Write a letter to it. Do it with a close friend that supports you. Do it by yourself if you need to. This is a very personal ritual and it should be personalized just for you. Thank it, then say goodbye to it as if you are ending a relationship that no longer serves you. The reason I say to do this is because studies and my personal experience show that humans are more likely to take something seriously when they take the time to ritualize it with a clear intent. Your clear intent is you want to quit smoking pot. You have to want it. Can't emphasize that enough. So give that intention the time and respect that it deserves. Now that you got all that out of the way, it's time to quit for real. Set a date and have a reason to do it. It could be anything. For me, it was because I was going to drink ayahuasca and you need to be clean for 3 weeks beforehand. You could schedule it around a vacation, someplace where you'll be distracted and you can't get a decent supply. You could just decide on a day and go for it. Then shift your mindset to focus on what you're gaining: clarity, energy, and freedom. Not just what you're giving up, the pot smoking lifestyle. The first 3 days are gonna be brutal. You might have to white knuckle it through the hard parts. This is gonna be the time when you really wanna go back to smoking, but stay strong. Hit the gym, hang out with positive friends, or go for walks in the city or nature. Have a plan and stick to it when the need hits hard. You might not sleep at first. You might get the night sweats. You're gonna have some fucking insane dreams. Don't worry, this is all totally normal. If you push through, things will get a lot easier after the first 3 or 4 days. Except for the dreams, those are gonna go on for about a month or so, but they pass. Okay, your fears. Will you become more aggressive and irritable? Probably, at first. I did, but once I got past the withdrawals, I actually became less aggressive and irritable. Will you become more difficult to be around? Again, probably, at first. It's hard, I'm not gonna lie, but it passes faster than you think if you set your mind to it. The only friends you'll lose are the people who were never really your friends in the first place. And for me, they were replaced with better friends after a while. If you're worried about losing your creativity, don't. I was actually a lot more creative and did some of the best work I'd ever done in my life after I quit. And my ideas actually became reality, not just half-done projects. My business is better, my life is better, and I feel better about myself. Also, your conversations are going to be a lot more coherent because now you won't wander off mid-sentence on a weed-induced Alzheimer's moment, only to come back and wonder what the hell the other person's talking about. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay, at this point, you got weed out of your life and you have a month or two stone-free under your belt. Congratulations. You should be proud. This is a monumental achievement. Right about now, you're going to start to notice some cracks in what you might call your life game. About 5 or 6 minutes ago, I mentioned that I'd come back to this part. Weed isn't really the problem. It's a symptom of a larger problem. You're very likely going to come face to face with that larger problem before too long. And that's why so many people go back to the bud. Life is challenging, but if you're up for it, this is when the real work begins. Try to see this as an opportunity to grow and get curious about what's really going on. When you're ready, reach out and find someone who can help you deal with whatever it is that's dogging you. For me, the hardest part was admitting that I needed help. But my greatest breakthrough came when I finally found some support. And when I did, I felt a huge sense of relief that I didn't have to keep up the facade of strength any longer. That's why I started the Men's Highway, because I've been there and I got out. The people I know doing this work on themselves are doing amazing things with their lives. If you want to learn more about this process, click the link in the description and book a call with me today. We'll talk about what's going on for you right now and figure out what's holding you back in your life. I can help you break free and go on to find your purpose. Quitting weed was the best thing I ever did for myself, and it can be the best thing you ever do for yourself. On the other side of quitting, you'll have more energy, your relationships will be stronger, and you'll have true inner confidence that only comes from owning your life. Go for it. You can do it. Believe in yourself. And remember, there's support out there for you if you need it. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, my friend. Take that step today, and I'll see you on the highway. Like I said in the last video, after you quit, some strange things start to come up. Emotions. I know we don't like talking about it, but it's an essential part of recovery. A lot of people expect freedom right out of the gate, but more often than not, they come head to head with the reason they started smoking in the first place, like it's been sitting there waiting for them the whole time. Old memories, boredom, raging anger, or emptiness, it all comes crawling back. One minute you're proud, the next minute you're pissed off for no reason and scrolling to distract yourself. Quitting peels you open, and it shows you exactly what's going on underneath. It takes courage to do this, and if you're still here, you're in the right place. Stick with it, and it'll pay off. In this section, I'm going to lay out what actually gets you moving again and how to deal with one of the hardest parts of quitting. In this video, I'm going to say some things that might sting a little bit, might even piss you off a whole lot. But if you're willing to be honest with yourself and you can shut up the part of your ego that rushes to your defense, you might finally see why you're stuck running the same loop over and over again. It's not the weed, man. It's you. Is something that I hear over and over again. And there's some truth to it, sort of. But we know every addiction is a shortcut to peace you can't find any other way. You might tell yourself it's about freedom or self-care, or you might say something like, it's just a plant, man. But is that the truth or just another excuse? If weed was just a plant, nobody would be defending it in the comment section. You don't see people arguing about begonias on YouTube. But for a lot of people, weed has become a crutch that they don't want to let go of. The fear of who they are without it is a powerful mistress that keeps them stuck in a weed shame loop. Wanting to get high when you're not high, then wishing you weren't after you do. And every time you quit, the story changes. It helps me sleep. I'm less anxious. It makes me more creative. It's the solution when you're hurting or bored with your life, and the problem when you're honest enough to see it's not serving its purpose anymore. The louder you defend it, the more you and everybody else knows you're full of shit. Weed isn't a magic plant. It's just better than the alternative, which is sitting still with no layer between you and your own shit.
Most people don't smoke weed just to get high. They smoke it because it makes life more bearable, because it turns out the voice in your head and makes the grind less shitty. Maybe you tell yourself, I'm not as bad as that guy. He smokes 10 joints a day and I only smoke 2. But deep down, you know you're using it just to check out. You get high again after you told yourself you wouldn't, then regret creeps in because you know you're living a life you need to be baked to tolerate. That's when the outrage hits and you feel the shame of being out of control. Maybe you lash out at anyone who calls out the problems with weed, as if someone's trying to take your baba from you, or your jub, as my mom used to call it. But if it really made you happy, you wouldn't feel the need to defend it, and you wouldn't feel bad about yourself when you smoked it. Happy people don't get outraged about other people's opinions. They're too busy living to defend an addiction they know is stopping them from healing. So, what are you really looking for when you light up? Right about now, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell are you supposed to do with all of this? Well, you don't need a 12-step program. You just need to stop running for a minute. If you're really serious and want to do the work that will change your life, next time you feel the urge to light up or check out, just pause and stop yourself. Give yourself 5 minutes. Don't scroll, don't distract yourself, don't reach for the bag. Just fucking sit there and feel it in your body. And you probably tensed up right now just from me saying that. Let yourself feel it. That's the space that carries your pain. Let yourself feel it right now. If you can, you'll start to see what's really going on. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's stress or family trauma. Maybe it's just that old feeling that you're not enough. Write it down or say it out loud. I'm bored. I'm lonely. I'm pissed off and I don't know why. Take a deep breath and pause. Once you can name it, at least you'll know what it is and you can start working with it. Try the pause tonight and see what comes up. You might be surprised. When you can finally sit with the itch, what comes up is the truth about what you actually want in life. And at first, it's gonna feel like hell. You'll get restless, your skin will crawl, your brain will scream at you to do anything but just sit still. You'll wanna blame your job, blame your ex, blame the orange man, the war in Gaza, the left, the right, some bullshit conspiracy that may or may not happen. But if you ride it out, something strange happens. Your higher self shows up and you'll start to realize that you're not broken, man. You're just scared of who you are without the bud. And you're a human, and it's okay to be scared. Once you can do this, you'll be ready to let yourself have your feelings, and you'll stop running. Life is messy, and we're all doing the best we can. Let yourself be the man your younger self will be proud of. You don't have to quit cold turkey. Just do the 5-minute pause every night for a week. Write down what you feel, even if it's just, I'm fucking pissed off. Notice what triggers the urge to light up or lash out. Tell the truth and stop bullshitting yourself. Name what's really going on. If you're still pissed off, let me know in the comments, or just roast my mustache. Your choice. You're not alone. Every guy who's changed his life started right where you are right now. Tired of the loop, but scared to death of taking the next step. I was there, I know how it feels, and I can tell you, the fear doesn't last forever, and there's a whole lot of light on the other side of that tunnel. So, truth or excuse, what's it gonna be? You know where to find me. Good luck, gentlemen. I'll see you on the highway.
Something that kept coming up over and over again is people saying that quitting weed actually made life worse. They lost their creativity and their lust for life went out the window. After you quit, just dragging yourself off the couch can be hard. Food becomes sort of meh. Your hobbies are boring and your body doesn't seem to care anymore. You expect a rush of motivation with fireworks and a parade, but instead it feels like you lost your safety blanket and you start to wonder why you even bothered. But that lost feeling is just a phase. There's a real energy and possibility waiting for you if you push through it. This is a common theme and it happened to me too, but there are ways to jumpstart your passion and bring life back sooner than you think. In this next video,
I'll show you why your motivation tanks, what's going on in your body, and what is guaranteed to pull you out of it. This is the part where you can really dig in and rewrite a whole new chapter of your life. You can do it, and I've got your back. Maybe you started using weed just to take the edge off, but somewhere along the way you realized you hardly recognize the person you become. If you're feeling stuck or like your motivation isn't what it used to be, you're not alone. This sneaks up on a lot of us. So in this video, I'm going to show you what's behind that lack of motivation and what you can do right now to turn it around. Let's face it, life can be a bit shit sometimes, and when you get home after a long day at work, it's nice to just lay on the couch, roll up a big fat one, and scroll Instagram until your legs go numb. And for a couple hours, all's right in the world, right? But after a while, this turns into an everyday thing, or worse, an all-day thing. And it starts to make you feel bad about yourself, and it kills your motivation. Well, it turns out, science can show us why this is really happening. It turns out weed actually blunts our dopamine reward system, and it can make us feel less motivated. As most of us know, thanks to Andrew Huberman, dopamine is basically the motivation molecule. And back in the day, this is what got us off our asses to go hunt woolly mammoths instead of laying around the cave all day long staring at the wall. It's what pushed us to actually survive. When your levels are healthy, you tend to feel more motivated and driven. Smoking once in a while can give you a short-term boost, but heavy use over a long period of time actually lowers our baseline dopamine production. And that's why you end up needing it just to feel normal after a while, and you stop getting as high as you did in grade 8. This drop in dopamine is linked to amotivational syndrome, and it's why we procrastinate and find it difficult to start or finish tasks. It also gives you the feeling of not living up to your full potential, which is something I hear a lot lately. So how is all this going to help you get your motivation back? You might not like this at first, but the hard reality is if you want your motivation back, you're going to have to quit smoking weed, and not just for a few months. So many people want to break up with weed, but they want to be just friends to avoid the pain of quitting. If you've ever gone through a breakup, you know you can't be just friends with your ex, especially if it was an unhealthy relationship. And if you're a chronic smoker, you have an unhealthy relationship with weed, and you're gonna need a long break to get a new perspective. We now know that weed spikes your dopamine levels when you're high, but when you aren't smoking, your baseline levels are lower than average. And this is why so many people say they feel less motivated after they quit. It's gonna take some time for your body to reacclimate and get your baseline levels back to normal. For most people, this can take anywhere from 30 to 120 days. Some people say up to 6 months, depending on how long you've smoked, when you started, and how much you smoked during the day. And honestly, for me, I didn't start feeling like myself again for almost a year. It took that long for the brain fog to totally clear and for me to get my lust for life back. But it only took me that long because I didn't know what I'm about to tell you right now. You can vastly speed up your dopamine recovery with this one little hack. And the name of that hack is discipline. But don't click away just yet. I'm gonna make it easy for you. First, what you're not gonna do is go start watching David Goggins videos, taking cold showers at 5 a.m. and working out twice a day. That is totally unsustainable and will make you feel bad about yourself when you can't stick with it. Now is the time to take things slowly, be gentle, and give yourself the time you need to recover. But if you want your dopamine levels to recover quicker, you're gonna have to start to cultivate some good habits and some discipline. Here's how you're gonna make it painless for yourself. In the last video, there were a lot of comments where people said they lost the motivation to do the things they really loved after they quit. Things like working out, playing guitar, socializing, and going for walks. Basically, the things they enjoyed when they were high, but felt boring after they quit. So you're gonna start to force yourself to do the things that you love. This will help restore your baseline levels naturally. I like to refer to it as earned dopamine, as opposed to unearned dopamine like watching porn, scrolling social media, or whatever it is you do to procrastinate. Next thing you're gonna do is pick one thing you don't like doing. Just one. Maybe it's keeping your kitchen super fucking mint all the time.
or just make your bed every morning before you leave the house. Keep it simple and easy for you to maintain, and then build on it every other week by adding another thing to the list. This will help you develop discipline, and it will help your brain start producing dopamine again, because there's nothing like a clean house to make a guy feel good about himself. If you keep this up and develop these habits quickly, you're going to expedite recovery and make things a lot less painful for yourself after you stop smoking weed. But if you feel overwhelmed and need some help to get started, or if you need a guide to get you through the hard parts, click the link in the description and book a call with me today. I've been there and I got through it, and I've helped many others do the same and go on to find their purpose in life, which is ultimately what we're all looking for, right? That's all I have for you today. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on the highway. Sleep is one of the first things that goes sideways after you quit. It doesn't matter how tired you are. If your mind just won't shut up, you won't be able to sleep. And I can't count the number of comments from people saying, I quit weed and now I can't sleep to save my life. When you're lying there sweating at 3 a.m. with your monkey brain on full tilt, all you want to do is reach for the bag and twist one up. But you can't do that if you want to get through this and stay free for any length of time. The answer isn't hiding in another joint. It's what you do before your head hits the pillow. So in this next section, I'll show you why your sleep gets so wrecked, what's behind the crazy dreams, and what really works to get your sleep back on track. And if you stick with it, the first real night of sleep you get after this will feel like winning the lottery.
You finally quit weed, and now you're twisting the sheets at 3 a.m., sweating, staring at the cracks in the ceiling, checking your phone for the 30th time. You wish your brain would just shut up. You start to wonder if you just traded weed for sleepless misery. It wouldn't sting so bad if you weren't being jolted awake every hour by lunatic dreams that still lay on you like a dark cloud, a reoccurring scene playing out from different angles. What's with that elephant? Why is there a go-kart in the living room? Dark questions that never get answered. You feel wrecked, and every part of you wants to hit that butt again to get relief. But you know, if you do, you'll just be back where you started and feeling bad about yourself in the morning. Daylight comes far too soon, and when you wake up, it feels more like resurfacing for breath. Was it 3 hours? 4? Either way, it's nowhere near enough. It's go time, and all your go is gone. A sweaty mess left on the battlefield that is your sheets. The morning light is a merciless bitch, like she's trying to peel a layer off your eyeballs. You're in the zombie stretch, post-addiction, a gray zone between sleep and life with lessons hiding somewhere in the fog. Your system's hunting for a manual it tossed out years ago. You spent years outsourcing sleep, now your body wants to know who's in charge. Here's the ugly science of it all. When the weed's gone, REM storms the gates. And messy, overdue dreams flood in. Nightmares as payback for lost time. Your mind hitting fast rewind on everything you tried to bury. You wander into the day on autopilot. Half alive, still feeling the sting of last night's horror show. Your ship without a rudder, son, tossed into strange waters. Without Sweet Jane at the helm. You're twitchy, crabby, and your skin is crawling. A full chorus of emotions flood your body, and you hang on for dear life, trying to make sense of it all. Nobody preps you for this next level withdrawal, a limbo that's more brutal than missing the high. It's biology, doing hard time. It's savage and cruel, but it's the hallway to peace, not the prison you were once locked in. If you grit your teeth and hold on just a little longer, you can flip the odds in your favor. Here's what actually helps when you're sick of just surviving the night and ready to sleep like you mean it. No bullshit, no new drugs, just real solutions in a rigged game. First thing, drag your tired ass off that stinky, manky couch and participate in your own recovery. Go outside and move your body, hit the gym, start running or hiking, do something active. Start with a walk to the mailbox if that's all you can muster. Burn off the stress while the sun's up and earn the right to crash when she sets. Second, light will eat you alive. The twitching glow of phones, screens, the ghastly fluorescent buzz, pure psychic poison. Shut it all down an hour before bed. No negotiations. This is war. Don't leave room for error and take no prisoners. Third, routine isn't sexy, but your brain is desperate for it. Train your brain by showing up at the same time every night, even if you know you have to face a freak show all over again. Get up, go to bed, same hour. Force the reset, man. Be the change. Fourth, caffeine is a secret assassin, and coffee after 2 p.m. is Russian roulette for your sleep, and you know it. Don't sabotage the mission, man. Fifth, nuke the noise in your head. And if meditation feels like some sort of corny hippie BS, do it anyway. Or just sit on the edge of your bed, close your eyes, and breathe slow. Whatever gets your mind to drop the volume. And if you want to keep track so you can actually see progress, don't suffer through it, grab the free app in the description below. Track the nights you survived, the sleep you bank, and the weird dreams waking you up every hour. In a few weeks, you'll see just how far you've clawed out. You don't have to guess. It's free. You'd be losing money if you didn't grab it while supplies last, and all of that. If all else fails, mock the madness. Make friends with the demons of the night before they grab the wheel and turn you back into the wandering weed monster that you once were. Maybe it's time you sit with the shadows that darken your nights. The weirdest lessons only crawl out when the lights are low anyway, and they're the ones that change your life. This is the part where you dig in and learn. It's ugly, it's necessary, and more heroic than anyone will give you credit for, but you'll know, and that's all that matters. If you need proof you crawled through the fire, scroll back in the app after a week, you'll see the trail of footprints and the burn marks. One morning you wake up and realize you made it through the night clean. No deranged elephant, no go-karts in the living room with your ex-landlord. You can do it. I believe in you. Now it's your turn. Good luck, gentlemen. I'll see you on the highway.
The next video cuts right to the stuff nobody likes to talk about. You can white knuckle it through withdrawals, use all the hacks, and even quit for a while. But if you are not living the life your higher self wants you to live, and you keep bouncing between wanting to get high and hating yourself right after, you're gonna stay stuck and you'll never break free. So now what? This next part lays it bare. What weed is really hiding, what has to actually change if you want to stay free, and how facing your true self is the only path to long-term success. This is the ugly, honest foundation to building a life that's worth living after you quit. And it's the last time you'll ever blame the plant for the problem. When you're not high, all you want to do is get high. And the second you do get high, you start to regret it. You promise the universe that you'll quit after just one more hit. You start hanging with people you don't like, and you start pinching buds from your boss's stash that he keeps way back up on the shelf in the machine shop. Or whatever. And every time you swear weed is the cause of all your problems. If you could just quit, everything would magically be right in your world. Well, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but weed is not the problem. But don't worry, because I've been there, and I'm about to drag out all the dirty details for you. I've taken a lot of calls since my first weed video about 4 months ago, and I've asked every single person the same question. What's stopping you from just white knuckling it through the first 4 days? After that, the physical addiction is basically over, except for the dreams, but that's for another video. No one can give me a straight answer. I heard a lot of excuses like, oh, I don't know, the war in Gaza, work sucks, it helps my anxiety. It helps my depression. One guy just said, I think I'm just being a little bitch and I need to try harder. And while it is true that sometimes you are indeed just being a little bitch, that's not really the problem. Anyway, the real bullshit answer that made me do this video was, it's my medicine. Yeah, so is Buckley's, but you don't drink it after your cough goes away because it tastes terrible. If weed is your medicine, then it implies there's some sort of underlying illness at play. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't know if you've noticed, but there's quite a bit of that going around these days. What I'm trying to say is, weed isn't the issue. The real problem is the reason you started smoking it in the first place. And I'm not talking about the fun you were having with your friends when it was a novelty. I'm talking about why you started smoking it every day to make your life suck less. I think we all know this, and that's why no one can give me a straight answer. Whatever your reason, it could be family trauma, a loss of a loved one, a gloomy outlook, or just a bad breakup. You know those emotions are going to be there when you quit. But eventually, that stuff just starts to invade the high anyway, and weed ceases to be the escape it once was. And that's when you want to quit so bad, but you keep smoking it even though you regret it every time. You get stuck in this weed shame loop like so many others. And there's also something else going on that I think we need to talk about. This came up in the comment section of the last video, and I think it's a valid point. Reality sucks ass, and weed can be an escape from it. I agree, and I get it, especially if you're working a job, in a relationship, or running a business that's just killing you from the inside out. The problem is the bud makes life feel more tolerable, all but guaranteeing that you stay a slave to the thing that is the source of your misery. It's like spraying rose-scented air freshener in the bathroom after you take a shit. Now it just smells like someone took a shit in a rose bush. What I'm trying to say is, we all act like this is normal, and if weed makes it a little better, then there's no harm in it, because everybody's doing it. But you don't actually believe that, because it's bullshit. We're not meant to spend most of our time doing something we hate just so we can afford to have a couple hours to ourselves each night. This can't be all there is, right? But here's the brutal truth about all of this, and I'm so sorry for taking so long to get to my point. If you need weed to take the edge off, you aren't living the life you're meant to live. And you're numbing a part of yourself that could help you not only heal, but actually thrive. If you can't quit, you already know why. Because if you do, you have to take a hard look at the situation that is your life and start the task of rebuilding yourself from the ground up. And that's super fucking scary. So, how are you gonna get started? A while back, I fell off the wagon after 8 years of sobriety. I relapsed, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because it reframed my outlook. I'd worked so hard to get a life going that I was happy with, but the old fear of life started to creep back in, like a stinky dog that just wants to get back up on the couch. I thought I needed to buy a house, even though I'd already paid one off and was happy to be rid of it when I sold it. I needed more money, more things, a new car, whatever. And before I knew it, I was grinding again, working stupid hours, not taking care of myself, and smoking weed to make it all a little less shitty. Then one day, I was staring at my afternoon joint, and the guy I'd worked so hard to become spoke up. And what he said sent me on the journey that I'm still on today. If this is all you do, this is all you are ever going to do. And it wasn't just about the weed. It was about the life I was living. A life where I needed to be high to cope. And I decided right there and then, I was done. I spent the next 8 months tying up loose ends, and I pushed everything into storage and left the country with zero idea what I was gonna do. Would I thrive? Or would I end up greeting people at Walmart in 10 years? I don't know. I don't know. But one thing is for sure, I am not okay living a life I have to be stoned to tolerate. You have to decide if you're okay with your life the way it is. Because if this is all you do, this is all you are ever going to do. You have to want to change things so bad that the fear of failure pales in comparison to the idea that you'll be saddled with this life until the end. You have to want to change the life you're tolerating, not just quit weed. You're gonna fail, you're gonna look cringe as f***. Emotions are gonna come up that are gonna be embarrassing, but it's all part of the process everyone has to go through if they wanna become the highest versions of themselves. And I highly recommend, if you tried to quit before and failed, you reach out and find someone that can help you. There's a link in the description if you'd like to work with me. I've been through it and I can help you get out of it. And I've seen people that went on to do amazing things with their lives after they did this work. It's not easy, but anything worth having is worth fighting for. And you don't have to work with me, but you do need to find someone that can help you. Or, you could just bullshit ChatGPT into telling you what you want to hear. Then, when that doesn't work, go find a human that knows how to help you. And it's this strange thing, when you agree to do this work, serendipitous shit starts to happen, and the people you need start to show up for you. Take the help when they do. Good luck, gentlemen. I'll see you on the highway. In this video, I'm gonna answer the age-old question. Can you go back to smoking weed once in a while after you quit? I quit about 10 years ago for personal reasons. I wanted to realize my higher self. There was something missing in my life. And weed was a part of it, but it was deeper. There was a deeper meaning to it all, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel whole. And I wanted to know. And at that time, I decided whatever it takes. I don't give a fuck what it takes, how much money it costs. I'm going to do it. And I'd reached a period in my life where that was okay. I could take the time to do it. And I decided, this is what I'm going to do. And I went on my journey. It took years. It took a good 5 years, ups and downs, climbed the mountain, went through the dark night of the soul, spent more than a few nights curled up on the floor, on the bathroom floor, crying my eyes out, because that's what it took. I didn't know how hard it was going to be when I started, but I made a commitment to it and I stuck to it. So when people say, can I start smoking weed again after I quit? Is it okay to partake? That depends. Yes and no. Have you done your deep work? Have you met your higher self? Have you spent the night crying on the bathroom floor? Have you conquered your demons? Have you shaken hands with that person that you want to be and become the man that you want to be? And if the answer is no, then no, you can't ever go back until that work is done. But if you have done that, yeah, you can once in a while. And when I mean once in a while, I mean a few times a year, not once a week or once a month. A few times a year, yeah, you can hit it. And I went back to Canada last month and I hit it. And you know what? It wasn't what it used to be. It's not that. It's not the promise that it gives you of enlightenment. It's just not that. I will take sobriety and a clear head 1,000,000 times before I take that. I don't need it ever again in my life. But will I hit it once in a while? Once in a while, maybe. But I have a different relationship with it because I have a different relationship with myself. So if you got to the end of this video, thank you so much. Like and subscribe. And if you want to do that deep work, that deep spiritual work, so don't get excited. Spirituality or whatever, you don't got to join a cult. You don't got to do ayahuasca like I did. If you want to do that deep inner work on your spirit and meet that higher version of yourself, that's what I do. I do it full time. I'm really good at it. My references speak for themselves. Click the link in the description and book a call with me, and we'll see if we can work together and do the deep work that you need to do. If you decide to do that, you got to make the commitment, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. When you're ready to do that, you'll know. Thank you for sticking around to the end of my ramblings, and good luck to you, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the highway.